Hello statistics students, today we're going to start chapter 18 about t-intervals, and we're going to switch gears from proportions to means. We actually started this last week with the penny experiment. So a couple vocabulary words. A point estimate is a statistic. For proportions we used p hat, but for means we're going to use x bar. And the parameter refers to the population. For proportions we use p, and for means we're going to use mu. And just like in the last unit there were conditions, there are several conditions. You could see them on the screen. Simple random sample, independent observations, or capital N is bigger than 10n. That means the population is bigger than 10 times the sample size. And the third condition changes a little bit, and we're going to go through that in a little bit, so I'm going to not talk about it right now. And if you look at the formula down here that I'm highlighting in pink, the confidence interval is x bar plus or minus t star s over root n, and then there's something called the degrees of freedom. The df means the degrees of freedom, and it's n minus 1, where n is the sample size. So I'm going to take a quick look at the t-curve with you. So the green curve is the normal curve, and the blue curve is called a t-curve with the degrees of freedom 1. If I increase the degrees of freedom to 4, you can see the t-curve, the blue curve, gets close to the green curve. And if I increase it maybe to 12, it's even closer. And I'll bump it up to 22. You can see it gets closer for the degrees of freedom. And here the degrees of freedom is 32, and you can see they are pretty similar to each other. So if I go back to your worksheet or your handout, one of the conditions is n is bigger than 30, because as you just saw, those curves became pretty close to each other. So we'll talk about that more later.